at the dawn of day. Marie Laveau had passed away in St. Louis Cemetery. She lays in a tomb. She was buried at night on the west of the moon. Oh, Marie Laveau. Oh, Marie Laveau. Hey, Marie Laveau. Hey, Marie Laveau. The folks still believe in the voodoo queen. Way down yonder in New Orleans. Way down yonder in New Orleans. That's it.
Welcome to Bloody Mary's Spirit Realm. Subjects are always voodoo paranormal. Today we have Glenette. She lives with one of New Orleans' most famous ghosts, Julie, and she has a new book coming out. So please welcome Glenette. Come on in. Have a seat.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Welcome to the Spirit Realm. Tell us a wee bit about Julie and like what your relationship is to her.
Well, Julie is a spirit that lives in my house in the French Quarter.
Okay.
She's from the 1800s, and she is quite famous for being a nude octoroon, which an octoroon is a 1/8 person, black person.
Mm-hmm.
And she did walk the roof naked to please her lover.
So legend goes, and she's been called the Octroon Mistress. She's been called the Golden, I think the Golden Wraith or something.
Mhm.
Also, there's many things that she's been called. I called her the Ghost of Forbidden Love. But Julie's a very sweet spirit,
Oh,
and
yes.
I still think it's debatable whether she was really naked up there. I think that's the way
Well,
certain men wrote about it.
I have
you
a
know.
feeling that's probably true.
I do believe, because of some of the spirit ways that I've actually seen Julie, and I've known her for a good 20 years, I seen her one night manifest wearing a beautiful long white dress, and some early oral traditions say she danced that night out in her wedding gown.
And that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, you know, she
Sounds
was
a lot more
already
logical.
knowing this was going to happen, so much so that she bought or made her
A
dress.
wedding gown.
And so, you know, that she went up there to prove her love. So it's our own Romeo and Juliet story
Oh,
in
yes.
New Orleans. But you didn't know anything about that when you first went to go look at that place, right?
No.
Not at
no.
all.
I
Knew something was up, but you didn't know.
right. Well, there were things in the house that the renter had done,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't understand what she was getting at.
Mhm.
She had salt in all the windows, all the windowsills, and at all the doors.
Okay.
And I saw the white stuff on the floor and on the windows, and I thought, that's kind of weird. Maybe they have snails or something.
On the third floor.
Yeah.
Very, very active
Which-
snail.
yes, but it's like you just let that go. You know,
Mhm.
it's oh well, it was
Plus
her
it's New
thing.
Orleans.
Yes, and it was her thing.
Mhm.
I don't know why she put. Plus, she also had a religious candle over in the corner, up by the balcony, up at the front corner.
So salt is for protection, keep away evil spirits.
which
but-
I found out eventually.
Yeah.
You know, but at the time I didn't know why she had those in
But
there.
she didn't consider Julie an evil spirit. She
No,
knew about Julie. Because
but
I
I-
met her and she talked to me about Julie. But she knew about...
I think she was afraid
There's the other
of
one.
of the black spirit.
The dark spirit.
Yes, the dark spirit that comes
Yeah.
through the door. And I think she was keeping him away.
And also maybe she was prompted by Julie's suggestion without even really knowing it. You
Which
know?
I hadn't thought about that.
Julie said do this, Julie, So she was almost sealing her in where
Exactly.
You and I, over the years, have actually gone out with Julie to have a drink or a
for
dinner.
sure.
And Julie likes to go out, right?
Yes.
Julie went out on her own one night to go visit Marie Laveau. She wanted her man and her love to last for eternity. She wanted a love ritual. Marie Laveau was doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, all rolled into one. She did a little matchmaking on the side. Matchmaking mixed with voodoo. Marie Laveau would bless the wedding dress. This is what I've gleaned psychically occurred between Marie Laveau and Julie. And it was a common thing to do in a day to ensure a wedding. She went and had her wedding dress blessed. That is what I saw Julie dance in that night. That I am sure. As thick as you and me. Her love and her faith still lives. And she is there on Royal Street. Her love did last for eternity. But probably not the way she had in mind. Her flesh was weak, but the love still beats in her heart. They are our Romeo and Juliet story of yesteryear. With Grigri in hand and Marie Laveau's promise and blessing, Julie went on her way.
Because she's made sure I've met everyone that's lived there for the past 20 years because she was the first ghost that took a full ride on my back, kind of a hitchhiker. Except she's a sweet kid in a candy store feeling. And ever since then, she's made sure that I've stayed friends with everyone there, and we still have stayed friends. And now, you've lived there for 9 years, going on 10.
Yeah.
And you wrote a book about your experiences. Please tell everybody the name of your book.
The name of the book is Julie's Spirit, a New Orleans Ghost Story.
And it's everyday occurrences of living with a ghost, which is generally not the Hollywood way.
No.
Like sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not there. They show themselves and it clusters a lot of times. That it's a hot cycle and then it flows.
When they were remodeling the house next door to me.
Twin house, yeah.
Yeah, it's my sister house. That at that time, that year was crazy. I heard
they
so
really
many
hate
things.
remodeling. It disrupts the whole energy of the place.
Things were in the wrong place.
Moving
Things
around
fell. I lost stuff that I normally wouldn't lose.
Not just the rumblings of the activity of the construction. Now
No.
we're talking about the spirit unrest that goes with the changing of an area. They don't like that.
Right.
You're messing with their time period.
And actually, when they worked over there, other than what they threw off the balcony from the third floor, I did not hear them that much.
Mhm.
They didn't, or maybe a drill, like when they
Here
were
and
doing
there.
the wall, but you don't hear things in those buildings. It's within your building.
Mhm.
It just,
And they had spirit unrest
In that building also?
seen when it was going on that they've reported the construction workers that were there. Just as the construction workers
in my
your
house
place,
did too. They had a hard time.
they
They had a
those
really
that
hard
come.
time because she would, they kept all of their tools in one corner in the entryway.
Mhm.
And every morning they would come back and the whole house was locked. No one could get in. They would come back and things would be missing.
We have that problem here in this country. We're on it too, yes. We've had certain crews we tell them about it, certain crews we don't tell them about it, but everybody has something
And
going missing or...
our construction workers didn't know about Julie until they got there, and they never told me they had the experiences until
you start calling
I
and
started
asking them.
writing the book.
And I think I made you call him and ask him if it was only in
Yes,
New
you
Orleans
did.
that he had this, or was this every remodel in every state? And he said, no, only in
Well,
New Orleans.
only in New Orleans, and only one other place besides mine. It was owned by the
Also in the French Quarter,
senator.
right?
Yes,
Mhm.
it was on Bourbon Street. It was a home owned by a senator that passed away
Oh, Bob?
in a plane.
Lindy Block?
Yes,
Hale Block?
that's the only
yeah.
place that he had some sort of activity besides my house, and he's worked on hundreds of homes in the French Quarter.
But in general, renovation will bring them out because you're messing with their territory. If you're blocking off a window that they used to gaze out on, or you're closing off
Changing
a
a
door,
door. Yes,
cutting a hole,
changing the door.
you're messing with them big time. It may not seem like to you, but I always suggest to tell the spirits of the place who you are, that you're moving in now, that you make your boundaries, and that you tell them when you're renovating, and that you're not destroying the place, so it may look like it. That you're
Right.
healing it. And if you have plans, put them out.
And
you know,
I
if
didn't
you have
know
color
that.
chips, put them
Yeah,
out.
I didn't know
You know,
that.
if they can help, go for it. You know.
But the good thing was that even though we had many incidents, a mirror fell off the wall that broke, and rugs. I lost 3 rugs. I would come back from being gone, and they would just be gone. The rugs were gone. The rug next to my bed where I put my feet out when I get out of bed, and a couple of pieces of furniture.
We're
And
gone?
Yes.
What? And nobody knows. And
I came home. I came back from California one time, and where I had a little plant stand I was using for to put my lamp on and all that kind of stuff. I came back, and there was no stand, but everything was sitting perfectly on the floor, exactly like it had been sitting on the stand.
And what
But
did,
it was
your,
on
what
the
did
floor.
your cleaner say, lady?
Well, she wasn't there then. That was during
And I wasn't there
construction.
then.
That was during construction. And I asked, my husband wouldn't let me ask. He said, "Oh, that's ridiculous. You know, I don't know what happened to it. It probably broke. They probably stood on it or something. But it was too small to stand on. I mean, there's no way. It was only about this big on top."
Right.
But they said, "Oh, you know." So my husband many times has made me just not say anything. That's part of the reason that I never talked to the construction workers, because he told me not to say anything. I mean, I had clothing missing. I had that mirror broke. The mirror broke, and I hadn't even hung it up yet, and it was sitting there facing backwards, broken in my bedroom.
Was it red?
No.
Were the clothing red?
No,
Like
no.
that.
The clothing, I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, you continue to just write things off as they happen over the years. It's like, oh, well, I don't know what that was, but never mind, you know. And that's...
I still ask for the things back, and sometimes you get them back years later. Sometimes you do.
Oh, well,
You
that's
do.
interesting.
Years sometimes.
Oh!
Sometimes it's like, it's like right there.
Well,
you know, like real, like right in front of your face. Like, really?
Well,
You
and
know,
my husband has that happen to him.
He's more on your side now, so he understands
Well, yes.
it more now. But yeah, no, that
Definitely.
happens all the time. Spirits take things, they use them on the other side. What they use them for, just to make attention, who knows? But you ask them nicely. Sometimes you give them something else, and they do eventually bring it back. And one would hope maybe with a little bit of blessing and knowledge from the other side
There you
in
go.
the process. So, your roommate's very nice. You're very nice. It's very lovely to meet you. I hope everyone
Thank
gets
you.
to read your book, and it'll just be about the day-to-day life of living with the spirit. And then I've got a lot written about her in my book too.
Mhm.
And Julie is
Well,
a
and
very sweet spirit.
I did go through and pick out all the stories I could find about her.
Mhm.
Back from 1930, which was the first one I actually found written down.
Right.
I'm sure it was by word of mouth before that,
Yeah.
but it was in that book.
Mhm.
And there was only 3 people mentioned in the spirit world, and that was Madame Lalaurie,
Of course.
and of course Marie Laveau,
Mhm.
and Julie, and she
And
was
they're all
called.
women.
I found it quite interesting that there she was,
Mhm.
just her. No, just her and the 2 other most famous women in the history of the
She's in
city.
the top 3. Yeah.
She's the top 3, and that was really interesting.
Mhm.
But I went through and I investigated each one of those type of stories over the years, and I also interviewed a lot of people like yourself who've dealt with her, over people who've lived in the house and had experiences.
Bottom of the cup.
A lot of people from the cup, yes,
Mhm.
a lot of people from the cup. So, and of course my own experiences, which are so numerous, it's silly.
Well, thank you very much. We're
My
going to head
pleasure.
off, go back to our prospective roommates, and thank you for joining the Spirit Room.
Thank you, dear.
connection between where the servants lived and the main house. The courtyard was like an extended living room. The servants' quarters were the 3-story buildings attached to the main house. We're now going to the main house part, where our famous spirit lives. Julie, with a Christmas present. Julie, let me in. I have a friend with us. Yes, sir. Bonjour, Julie. From here you can see the back of the presbytere, the side of St. Louis Cathedral. This was all church property. They were the landlords of the Catholic Church. Julie froze to death on the roof after being told by her love that if she spent the night on the roof, that he would marry her in the morning. Glenette believes that it was by climbing out of this area, the slave quarters, that she would get up to the roof and go around to the front. Julie was the first spirit that took a full ride on my back that I had to have ritually removed. Right at the transition of me doing this part-time to full-time approximately 20 years ago or so. But she was a kid in a candy store feeling, and we've become friends ever since. She's made sure that I've met everyone that's moved here. And I try to give her gifts, invite her to dinners, and I don't forget her at Christmas. I already brought her a Christmas gift, but she's gonna get her a Christmas tree. She gets a stocking at my house too. Yalali. I had bought this for her. Last time I was here, we'll put that as a topper. It's a little ring. And this is her little present. And she has her chocolates. She asked for shoes last year, so she got ballet shoes. And there are other spirits here too, so I got them potpourri and flowers and a variety of other things. Sometimes the bad man is heard more on the stairs, trying to come in, rattling at the door in the middle of the night. When I spent the night here, I've heard footsteps walk over and whispers in my ears. But the first time, long time ago, that I did an investigation here, the red-eyed one, the dark man, he came out with all of his fury. So in this window had this door. He is seen. Occasionally Julie manifests here, but there are other spirits in here as well. The main place, as usual, where most of the action is, always the bedroom. I'm not trying to be funny. In this corner here, she's done full-flesh manifestation, a whole electrical light show kind of energy orb appearance, tons of voices, EVP, dream visions, a smell of perfume when many of the spirits are here will intoxicate you inside. This is Glenette's altar that she has built over the years. She prefers when the balcony is open, so she can feel the energy and see the life and how things have changed over the years. Plus, like a lot of spirits from the 19th century, they prefer fresh air than air conditioned. It's always a problem. It's really noisy during the day out there, so we might leave it closed today, but she can peer out. I can leave the curtain open a little. That'll make her happy. There we go. Julie's a very sweet spirit. Julie, are you here? I say, Julie, Merry Christmas. You are welcome to my house for dinner. Turkey and the drinks. Julie's also known to be the ghost of love. If you have any love needs whatsoever, you write her a letter. Yellow paper, blue ink. Dear Julie. You write what you need and give her a slice of coconut cake. Leave it near the church or over here, and she will make a match. Julie has many gifts. And this is her beautiful home. Her man would have stayed more downstairs when he entertained the friends. This would have been their private abode. Small little room over there and a full attic up above. And the little courtyard. The servants' quarters, they would have had many. She had slaves that tended to her every need. She was fed in the delicacies of the land and the sea. She was given jewels and furs. She had everything but the legal marriage certificate, which is what she wanted. But in those days, it was illegal to marry between the races. She was technically his placee, a legal mistress. When in jest, he said, spend the night on the roof, I'll marry you in the morning. She took it true. Plus, she was armed with a strength of voodoo for protection and a love ritual in the other hand. She went upstairs, but the elements got her, and he fetched her from the roof, but he had her die in his arms. He died a few months later of a broken heart. Both her spirits are here, but she is not sad. She loves the idea of love and sticks around as a matchmaker. Julie's a very sweet spirit, and she has a lot of gifts to share. Ashe Julie, and happy holidays. This is the inside of one of the most famous ghosts in town, home. She is welcome to come to Christmas at my house. Except I have a red tree. She doesn't like red. The term the Jeru. Anything with Rue is the red eye, the evil, the demon ones. There was a watcher, an astral werewolf known as the Jeru back in the day that stalked her. She was deathly afraid of it, and now anything with the color red disappears. Welcome to our kitchen witching section. I'm Bloody Mary, and I'm going to take you to meet a very important friend, salt. We eat too much of it, but we don't always even use it correctly. Salt is always good to carry. Get some good salt. Get some sea salt. Get some Himalayan salt if you can. Use it in your food, but carry it with you. If there's ever any attachments on you from paranormal things you may have stepped in inadvertently, salt is your friend. Always direct the salt. Tell it what to do. Pour it into your hand. Blow. Blow into the salt with a prayer and a visualization of taking anything unclean away from you. Pray and bathe into it. Throw it into the water. And at one point in that bath, dunk under head to toe like a new baptism. Salt is always good to carry. In a pinch, maybe save some of these little packages that you get. Now, table salt is not the best, but it is good in a pinch. Going on a ghost hunt, going on a ghost tour, happen to go into a sacred site, a graveyard, carry this with you. Salt is for humans. Salt is for the living. It will ground you and bring you back if you're starting to feel a little off kilter. So remember salt. Now, for a little heavier duty protection spell, I went and got the whole Himalayan salt bowl, edible. Now you can actually cook in this, mixing your herbs together, or you can also use it for more protection spells. I have some fresh camphor that I grow, and camphor and salt together is wonderful to cleanse your house or to get rid of any unwanted evil spirits or even any roommates that are pretty bad. Maybe they will go away too. Because you only want something that's serving your highest good. Now, this isn't going to harm them. This just cleanses it away. So again, breathe into it with a prayer. Direct that it's supposed to cleanse area and keep positive energy. Mix it with that salt that we had already blended and some more. And in a salt bowl, and you don't have to go that far, but I do. And just sit here and grind it and think about all the cleansing of your house. Visualize all light coming in all the windows and all the doors and all the crevices and all the cracks. Grind it up real fine. Now you can mix it in your mop water. You can carry it in a little gree pouch. You can just put it in the four corners of your room. You can cook with it too, but I don't know how tasty camphor is, but salt's damn good. Salt is your friend. In a pinch, you can use the table salt, but it's preferable to use sea salt, earth salt, or even Epsom salt. In a pinch, salt is your friend. We were interviewing Glenette, early on in the show about Julie, her spirit roommate. It seems that Julie came in herself in the form of a very small orb with an intelligent path. As the orb goes to me, goes to Glenette, and returns again. This is accompanied by a cold spot, one of the early signs that a spirit is near. This would not be the first time that Julie has hitchhiked, but that is how we first met many, many moons ago, when she hitchhiked directly on my back, and she probably took a ride with us when I picked up Glenette to come interview her for this show earlier today. We always invite Julie along, and she showed herself. Sometimes Glenette has EVP sessions with Julie. She talks to her regularly in a conversation like we're having right now, but she also has them in session. She has shared one with us. You can hear the word kill. This was not Glenette's voice. When we were talking about the bad man that sometimes appears in the apartment or makes himself known.
One more question, sweetie. The person that comes up the stairs when I hear the door slam and they come up to the first landing, that person, the shadow, touched me. Q.